BICKERING BELKERS. A puff of dark gray smoke lingers on the northern edge of the canyon around the mound of rocks. From the distance, the smoke moves at an unearthly pace, as if swirling upon itself. 3 huge BELKERS attack. In smoke form, you slay all of them. Abandoned gorge. This narrow gorge is difficult to notice. A hole opens in the ground amidst jagged rocks covering the ground of this area. The grotto is roughly 5 feet in diameter. A closer look reveals it as the mouth of 30 feet deep yetical tunnel. Earthblood Fall. The easternmost branch of the canyon leads to a 60-foot wall smeared with an oily liquid. The substance is a deep color with speckles of red mixed, and it dips down from a hole in the wall some 30 feet above the canyon floor. The substance descends so slowly that it seems frozen in place. At the base of the wall is a pool of the same oily stuff. The open plain. North of the canyon lies a plain running several miles north before merging with the base of the Black Mountain, the wide canyon that dominates the central plain. The rocky formations surrounding it resemble those of a scraggy stone around the greater canyon. Flatlands. North of the canyon and the cliff is a crown-shaped stone plain. There are no peaks or inclinations cutting through the valley, and the plain goes until it meets the Black Mountain further north. The northwestern stretch of the valley is open. The flatlands have no plateaus or crevices aside from the ditch, and though the ground is not even, rising ever slightly as one travels north, its dusty surface as smooth as though strong winds have polished it for centuries. This area is claimed by the group of tomb BELKERS. These creatures are too weak to challenge their kin dwelling, so they wander the flatlands and ensure they remain theirs, attacking anything crossing their path. You slay them. Old bones. Bones are scattered around the dusty grounds of the plain. Closer examination reveals these remains once formed the skeleton of a giant. The remains are from a cloud giant who perished centuries ago. The giant was Nakor's brother, who was killed by the mighty demon wind that now haunts. Nakor's sorrow at the loss of his brother had faded with the passing years. He remembers his brother fondly. If respectful, the giant horse's bones and bring remains to Nakor, the giant's attitude automatically shifts 2 ranks towards helpful. The Hollow. To the northeast of the plain is a 50-foot deep ditch like the Great Canyon to the south. This hole is surrounded with jagged rocks. Like most creatures of its kind, the Zorn likes to dive in out of the ground and notices you approach and attacks you. You slay it in defense. It was an Elder Zorn, which I can just imagine is like some sort of giant worm creature, I don't know. And the Barrows. The second half of this region is dominated by a group of twisted driders known as Spider Kings, who have constructed a small but impressive city that binds volcanic rock with web and spell to create a vile fortress. With the Barrows, the driders rule, and absolute resistance is met with brutal force. The driders brook no dissension amongst their peers on their drow slaves, relying upon spells and magical servants to enforce Makahanan will. Even so, rebellion brews. The drow plot against their masters, hiding away stolen poisons and blades and looking forward to the day when they can seize control of the region. Society within the Barrows is a study in terror. The Spider Kings scheme against one another for domination over the kingdom, and their powerful sorcerers circle. This infighting produced a caste system with the Drider sorcerers at the pinnacle, their artisans next in line, and their warriors filling the lower ranks. Though far from influential, the warriors are cruel, as almost a quarter of their ranks are filled with creatures that survive the sorcerer's arcane experiments. These mutations are among the most twisted of the creatures found in the Barrows. The Spider King's drow slaves suffer greatly as experimental fodder. Repair crews within the region's most dangerous tunnels. The Bloodsport warriors and the Driders garish entertainments. Fortunately for any party visiting or taking prisoner here, the drow believe that any enemy of their enemy is a tool and a resourceful temporary ally within the slave ranks. The slaves are greater allies than they may at first appear. Unbeknownst to their masters, they have unlocked several eastern rooms, which they use as base of their rebellion. Further, use the drow as a conduit to reveal the Spider King's history, which is well known. Dark Elf lore, nearly 200 years ago, the drow ruled over a Drider slave class. When the Drider rose up against their masters but failed to seize power, they fled underground, taking over 30 captured drow with them. The Driders fled before the might of the drow vengeance, but even more so, they fled the dishonor that stained their relationship with their merciless goddess. For years, the Driders stumbled around the underground caverns searching for a new home. Many died on the journey, and others went. Their guiding force was their leader, BICKERING, who took charge of the situation, providing the redemptive drive his people needed to keep moving. Eventually, he delivered them to new greatness.